Welcome to Cal Poly's School of Education Clinical Practice 3, CP3 Screencast. This screencast will focus on the third quarter of clinical practice, known as CP3. The goals of CP3 will be introduced, and participants will learn the expectations, priorities, and components of this quarter. Using evidence from the CP2 summative evaluation, the teacher candidate will assume increasing levels of responsibility for determining which skills are evaluated throughout the quarter. At the conclusion of CP3, the teacher candidate, cooperating teacher, and university supervisor will collaborate on the summative evaluation. The teacher candidate will complete an individual developmental plan with input from the university supervisor and cooperating teacher. This document will become the foundation for future professional development. The bolded print on the CP3 protocol table contained on the slide indicates the number of skills that the teacher candidate and university supervisor are responsible for selecting. The teacher candidate will select skills based on personal needs and growth. There are 3 formal observations and 1 informal observation, which is combined with a summative evaluation. Each prioritized skill has an accompanying observation rubric based on 4 performance levels. The rubric and performance levels are intended to facilitate growth. The rubric can be found on the Clinical Practice website. Rubric examples can be found for the A skills, B skills, and C skills. There are no rubric examples for D1 and D2. The summative evaluation and the individual development plan will be discussed later in the screencast. The university supervisor will select 3 skills, and the teacher candidate will select 1 skill prior to observation 3.1. For multiple subject teacher candidates, the university supervisor may request the teacher candidate's 2.4 summative evaluation in order to select the skills for this first observation. A lesson plan will be due prior to observation 3.1. The teacher candidate may develop the lesson plan with input from the cooperating teacher. The teacher candidate must submit the lesson plan to the university supervisor at least 24 to 48 hours in advance of the observation in order for the university supervisor to provide feedback on the lesson before it is taught. Teacher candidates should use their credential program's lesson plan template. For this observation, the university supervisor will review the lesson plan, but it will not be scored. For observation 3.2, a lesson plan will be submitted at least 24 to 48 hours in advance. The university supervisor will review and score the lesson plan prior to the observation. The prioritized skills of A1 through A6 will be evaluated, along with C5 and C6. The teacher candidate will select 2 additional skills from domains B, C, and D. The next slide reviews the A skills. All planning and preparation skills are evaluated during observation 3.2. Take a moment to review the 6 A skills displayed on this slide. This slide contains the rubric and rubric examples for the A4 skill. The observation rubric for Domain A also has accompanying rubric examples for all 6 Domain A prioritized skills. These rubric examples are available on our SOE Clinical Practice website for further review. Please take a moment to pause the screencast and review the above rubric and examples. As previously described, in addition to the A1 through A6 skills evaluated during observation 3.2, there are also 2 Domain C skills evaluated. This slide contains the rubric examples for the C6 prioritized skill. The observation rubric also has accompanying rubric examples for the other prioritized skills contained within Domain C. These examples are available on our SOE clinical practice website for further review. Please take a moment to pause the screencast and review the above rubric and examples. For Observation 3.3, the teacher candidate will select any 3 skills, and the university supervisor will select 1. A lesson plan will be submitted to the university supervisor prior to this observation, but it will not be scored. The teacher candidate is not required to submit a formal lesson plan for Observation 3.4. There is a brief informal observation of a lesson before the summative evaluation takes place. We will explore the summative evaluation and individual development plan more in depth now. At the conclusion of CP3, the summative evaluation provides an opportunity for the teacher candidate, cooperating teacher, and university supervisor to review, collaborate, and discuss the teacher candidate's progress. The summative evaluation uses the teacher education observation form used for previous observations. This 2-page document is available on the SOE clinical practice website for further review. The individual development plan is intended to help a teacher candidate transition from a pre-service credential program to an in-service induction program. The teacher candidate will identify 3 areas of strength and 3 areas of growth, providing evidence for each. The university supervisor and cooperating teacher may provide assistance. The teacher candidate will share the completed document electronically or in person for cooperating teacher and university supervisor feedback. The teacher candidate will retain a copy for future employment and share with their induction mentor. After each observation, the university supervisor will email a copy of the completed observation form to the teacher candidate and cooperating teacher. The university supervisor will also submit the observation form to Cal Poly via a secure online platform called Lime. At the completion of CP3, the university supervisor will email copies of the summative evaluation and individual development plan to the teacher candidate and cooperating teacher. Both documents will also be submitted to Lime. Thank you for viewing this screencast on CP3.